എന്നേസുവേ എൻ ജീവൻ നീരല്ലോ, എന്നേസുവേ എൻ ബലൻ നീരല്ലോ, എന്നേസുവേ എൻ ജീവൻ നീരല്ലോ, എന്നേസുവേ എൻ ബലൻ നീരല്ലോ. സിയോനിൻ വാതിലിൽ വെളിച്ചം നീരല്ലോ, ദേശം മുഖം കണ്ട് ഇന്നും കളിപ്പേ. സിയോനിൻ വാതിലിൽ വെളിച്ചം നീരല്ലോ, ദേശം മുഖം കണ്ട് ഇന്നും കളിപ്പേ.
A very good evening to all of you. We welcome all the subscribers and viewers of Melki TV, Tamil Kristha Tolaikaatchi channel, and particularly viewers of Speaking Books to our episode. And this is our 30th episode with the 30th book with the presenter. And the presenter is not a new person to us. She is already reviewed in our platform and has been a participant in many of our episodes. And we also like to welcome our entire panel of Speaking Books are going to join us today. So God has been very gracious to us that He has made us to complete almost 29th episode, and this is the 30th episode. So our journey has been very good so far. We have been stopped reading books, and this program has especially been created so that it may create an interest in us to read books. And those who are already reading books, they can come to our platform and give a review of the book so that more people can know about the book, buy it, read it. And we would also like to bring the new publishers who are ready to publish the book or who have already published their work. So we have reviewed almost most of the foreign books also, and Indian books also, secular books, theological books, family books, on n number of topics we have covered. So today's also we are going to cover a very different aspect of life of every human being. So when I saw this title, it was very catchy, and I was very curious as to what might be the content of this book. The name of the book goes like this: What Every Man Wants in a Woman by John Hagee. So actually, I wasn't aware that this book is a double book. So recently only I got to know through the presenter. So the author they both are husband and wife, and they've written two books from different sex perspectives. So this book is written by John Hagee, What Every Man Wants in a Woman, and there is another book which goes like this: What Every Woman Wants in a Man by Diana Hagee. So we will be reviewing that book also in coming episodes. But today we will be seeing the John Hagee's book. So we would like to welcome our presenter, Sister Raeshmi Rose. I welcome you, sister. Thank you for taking this opportunity and taking a valuable time and come and present to us to this book. So we are going to learn a lot of things about this book from you. Basically, sister is a believer of Elim Assembly, Crawford, and she's from Trichy. And we have our other panels also. We have Nellai Jemima Lazar Annan. Annan is also running a Facebook Pustakam group, missionary group, and it is also successfully going. And I think they are also touched the yesterday 30th episode. So God has been very gracious to them, and it has been run by him and his wife. And Annan has been already a reviewer in our platform also, and in many episodes he's also a participant. So I welcome Annan to our platform, and we have new participants today. So we have Brother Arockiadoss. Arockiadoss brother is basically a chemistry lecturer at Spectra Academy, Osur, and he is MSc MA and BEd. So brother, we welcome you. Thank you for coming to Speaking Books today, and we would like to have your review too in the coming days. And we are expecting still more panelists. Let them join us. Meanwhile, I would like to turn the mic to Sister Raeshmi Rose so that she can give the presentation of this book. Please, sister. Sister, unmute yourself, sister.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yes, you are audible.
This is yes. As a sister said, this is a consistent of two books in a one wrapper. today we are going to see what every man wants in a woman. It's totally a perspective from a man's side. The writer is a John Hagee. He's a American pastor, and he's a well-known counselor too. And he gave some ideas about marriage, what every man was expecting from this marriage. Like, so this book has a contents. I'm just going to explain the contents. It has eight chapters. In that eight chapters, the first one is, has your marriage lost its results? In that, the author explains about entering marriage with high expectations and low preparations. Nowadays, when you see young couples who are getting married, they have a lot of expectations about their spouse, and without any preparation they just bound to that relationship. And after getting married, before marriage, there will be no, they don't know anything about that, so they will be very happy about it. I'm getting married, this is going to be a new life journey, like that. But after getting married only the reality hits them. After getting married only they come to know about their spouse, and after knowing them they started regretting their decisions. Nowadays so many people are regretting their decisions, like why did I found this person, why come, how come I love this person before marriage, like that. So many questions. Likewise, the author also faced so many couples during his counseling sessions. They everyone come and say that I don't know how I married this kind of woman. I don't know how I married this kind of man. I never expect this one, like that. They all commented. So the author commented like this: they enter the marriage with high expectations and low preparations. Likewise, he gives an example of taking a driving license. While you have to take a drive license, you have to go through some sort of theoretical and practical sessions. Likewise, you have to prepare yourself to get the license, but not for marriage. When you reach the age of 18 in India, girls age is 18. When you reach that age, you can easily get the license for getting married, like that. So the author says, without having much preparations you will surely face hurdles in your life, because this is going to be a lifelong journey. It is not a journey where you can get on in somewhere and get off at somewhere. It's not like that. It is going to be throughout your life, entire life. You are going to travel with that person entirely. So you have to get yourself prepared for that. You have to know the reality of other person, and then only you can travel smoothly. That is what the author is saying from that. And the second point the author wants to specify is, men and women fail to recognize the difference between the sexes. Here the author talks about the gene. Like, the men and women's are entirely different. God doesn't make a man exactly like a woman, and not like that. They genetically different. So here the author will give us some good examples, like one time a genie and a man met. So that genie asked that man, ask me whatever you want, I will give you everything, like that. So that man, okay, let me ask something. I'm afraid of flying, so you build me some bridges to Hawaii so I can go through roadways, like that. But that genie said, we have to build bridges across Pacific Ocean, so it is not possible. Ask me some other thing, I will try to make that happen, like that. It will go on. So that man, okay, he okay, he says, okay, I will ask one simple question, you have to answer me honestly, then I will leave, like that. So okay, one simple question, right? You can ask me so many questions, like that. Like that, the genie said, okay. Then that man asked, why women cry? When they are happy they cry, when they are sad they cry, why they change their mood very oftenly, like that. That man asked the question. Then the genie said, yeah, guy, you need a 6-way lane or 4-way lane. Which lane you want? I will build a that across the Pacific Ocean bridge. Then answering these questions, because this is more difficult than building that one. Like that, the genie said. In that, it is very funny when you read that example. I laughed very whenever I come across that such kind of examples. I laugh openly. I forget where I am sitting during my train travel too. I just laughed openly, and every person was seeing why this girl is laughing by just reading this book. And I only know that because it was the author write in a lively way. So he wants to mention that men doesn't fully understand that woman, and women vice versa, women also doesn't understand men fully. No one can understand it. And here the fact is, before marriage opposite attracts, and after marriage opposites irritates. That is what the author states. Before the marriage everything will attract, opposite sex will attract you, and after marriage that opposite sex which attracts you will make you irritated. So this is what happens. Like the author goes on like this. And the difference between the sexes is remained, and it is been unappreciated. We don't appreciate, we don't think that men's are different or women's are different. God made them differently. So we have to accept that difference to have a happy marriage. That is what the author wants to conclude like that. And in that he gave so many points. There are four difference every married woman and married man must learn. That is, the woman right brain caring, whereas the man's left brain is logic. Man's when you see the man, he will think everything logically. They have the caring side, but not that much which is present in women. So they think everything logically. They come across every situation logically, they take the decision logically, not by emotions. But women will always take every decisions, every move emotionally. They are emotional being. So God has given these both sides, and it was proven, in a science, it was proven that a baby boy will grow his left side brain first, and then only the caring side will come out. But for girl, the caring side only is built up first. So that is how the God made men and women. So, and enjoying the process. Women enjoy the process of success, but men, they are only they are very focused in reaching the goal. They don't enjoy the process. The author give the example of shopping. Women goes when you everyone have experienced this. If you have a spouse, everyone has experienced this, because when women enter the shop, it will take an entire day to finish the shopping. But if a man goes for shopping, it will just take a 10 to hardly enough take a 10 to 15 minutes only. They just directly go to the place where they want to go, and buy whatever they want to buy. They have decided it in it. But women are not like that. Women know what they have to buy, but they will enjoy the process. They just go on searching because they enjoy it. They love it, because everything, the process to reach the point, they enjoy that. So they have to do that. That is the difference between the men and women. And spiritual authority and feminine manipulation. In some families, when the author come across some kind of families where the women wants to overpower the man. Like the author says that feminine has a manipulative character. They always try to manipulate, and they want to take the authority over everything, because they are a multitasker. They can do anything without anyone's support. So they are they are the embodiment of leadership. So they thought themselves that they want to be a leader, But God doesn't make them like that. God made the man as a leader, so man as a head. And the spiritual authority that has to be from man. He has to confirm the spiritual authority to that woman. That is what the author says. And the days of wine and the days of wine and roses, and the days of thunders and storm. This talk about the physical, what like physical illness of women. They come across from every month they had the menstrual cycle, and that time the men has to understand what she is going through, because no one, I think, so many of them doesn't understand what the pain is. But they all say that okay, you can go on with that. Particularly some of men who are used to like make the women work hard. They never care about what she is going through at all. In India we can see many of the persons like that, and they will treat like menstrual women like they are not to be touched, they are not to be entered into the house, like that. Still we have such kind of customs. And the author says the man has to understand what she is going through, because he is a part and parcel of her. He is a half of her, so he has to understand what she is going through. And science prove that the pain which she goes through during the menstrual period is equivalent to a heart attack, is equivalent to a heart attack. So every month a woman has to go through the pain which is an equivalent to heart attack. um, so many of them as to they never say that this much pain I'm going through. They just do regular work without any complaints. But men doesn't appreciate that. They just say okay, when she doesn't express that pain, they think there is no pain at all. But it's not like that. Girls are used, and women are used to that pain. So that's why they are not saying about, they are not making any fuss about that pain. But the author says men has to be very understanding about those kind of things. The author wants men has to know what she has to go through every month. And he has to support her emotionally, because as I said earlier, women are emotional being, and they want emotional support more than a physical support. She needs physical support, but where every time she thoughts about emotional support first. So whenever the man or the spouse giving her emotional support, she will feel the confirmation that okay, I have a very confident partner. I can be a he's a I can depend on him, like that. So that's all in for chapter 1. And chapter 2 is what women want. And in that chapter, women want man to love them completely, passionately, and romantically. These three things, author emphasis on that. And women are tired and sick of domestic hitless who try to dominate them for their own purpose. Women won't tolerate the domestic hitless because they are very tired of overpowering. They don't accept such kind of men as their spouse. So that is why like the author tries to say that that is why there are more divorce nowadays, like that, because they are overpowering like hitless. That is what they are saying. And they want a husband who will provide for the family financially, and one who protects them emotionally, and one who leads them spiritually. Women always expect that husband to be financial provider, and they have to support them emotionally, and they have to lead them spiritually. That is what every woman expect from her spouse. And woman wants a man who can truly understand that women are divinely different, and that they are not going to change. They are entirely, because every spouse, when the author made is they come and say that he or she is not up to my expectations. They are not changing. I want to try to change her or change him, but he or she is not changing. And that author say, don't ever dream on it, because no one is going to change. If you want to change, you are wishing for another man or another woman to live with you. It is not a God's plan. God has planned someone which is opposite of you to live with you. And the author says two incompatible persons living together and trying to be compatible. That is what the author tries to say in that. And every and author emphasis that woman always says that my husband is not changing. He whenever I tries to talk to him and tries to change him, he says don't try to change me at all, like that. And we have come across so many years, still he is not changing this kind of behaviors, like that. But the author says whenever women thinks like that, think about, you just want another woman to live with you. You are not expecting a man, because man is a logical being. God has created him like that, so he will be like that only. If you want to change him, then you are going to create another woman to live with you. Then that is not more, that is not more than that. God doesn't create like that. God created a symphony which is a very best play, like that. The author goes on. And and yeah, in that chapter, the again another point is women want emotional intimacy. Every woman has a intimacy is the word, is doesn't need the physical intimacy. It is of emotional intimacy. And the feeling of touch, that is what the author explains about it. Because women loves a simple things. They doesn't expect much. They just will be they are fulfilled, they satisfy, they will be satisfied with just a simple touch. That is what the author explains in that. And women want mutual submissions. Paul says submit to one another in the fear of God. So as Paul says, the author also insists on submit yourself to one another. Like don't say that I am over you or you are over me, like that. Don't say like that. You both are equal. Just try to submit yourself to one another, like that. And come again to chapter 3. Love secrets every man must know. In that love secrets, there are so many points. I will try to cut it down shortly. What you are willing to walk away from will determine what God can bring you to. If you are willing to change some things which is not going to be okay in your marriage, if you're ready to leave that behaviors, like behavioral things, and God can bring you to something which can entirely different. It can be a total pack of happiness, like that the author says in that. And love is not a license to change or to control your partner. And the folly of believing is I understand her. So many men tell that this word, I understand her. And author says no, it's not like that. You don't even understand her. She herself doesn't even understand her. How can you understand that person? When you ask a woman, do you really understand yourself, she will say no, I don't understand myself. Because women often confuse themselves with so many emotional things. So they don't even understand themselves. How can you say that I understand her, I understand her, she is like that only? Don't even say like that. That is a false sentence, like that the author goes on. And stop playing the blame game. Responsibility is the key to greatness. And every family, every marriage, every couples used to play the blame game among themselves. Whenever they face some hard kind of situations where they have to make decisions, they will throw the hot potato to the other person, and other person will throw the hot potato to this person. at one point of time someone has to make some decisions. If that decision is perfectly worked on, then the other person will say that I only give that thing to for you to decide, so this is my right to take that all appraisals. And if something goes wrong, this is what you done, this is what you did, like that we just cut off everything. We don't even want to tell that she is my wife or he is my husband when the decision was failed. We just cut off and we will go on the other side and we put the blame on the other person. Just that is what author says, but author says it, don't play the blame game, because he or she is not some other person, he or she is your spouse, they are the other half of yourself. If you play the blame game, you are just blaming yourself without knowing that you are doing these things. So that is what the author says. And when you make a mistake, acknowledge it and apologize. Perfection is not necessary. We all think perfection is necessary in marriage, but it is not necessary at all. No one is perfect, no one is perfect, and everyone needs change. Everyone has to allow themselves to change for betterment of our life and the family. So we have to be honest and integrity uh, throughout our relationship. That helps our relationship to run smoothly till we depart. And learn to laugh, because when the couple gets married, they laugh until they have some pains around their mouth or a stomach. But after moving 1 year or 2 years, after 3 years, slowly the laugh will turn into a grin or anger or some other extension of tensions, like that. Every time some wives used to say that when I get married, my husband used to laugh at me, he used to laugh at me, like that. But after getting 1 or 2 years, whenever I show my face in front of him, it is shoo shoo shoo, go out, get out, like that. Because he doesn't even want to see my face, like that. So that hurts, right? Everyone wants to be feel loved. And author says that don't even try to be a tensed person in your relationship. Try to laugh more, try to spend your time with your spouse more, and try to talk with them. Switch off your mobile phones, switch off your internet connections, and switch off your TVs. Throw out your magazines, newspapers, everything, and just sit with your family and spend the entire time with them. Then only you can truly know what is happiness is. That is what the author wants to insist on. And marriage is built upon a sexual excitement alone is doomed to failure. In this book, author wants to say that if a marriage is built upon a sexual excitement only, and alone, is doomed to failure. If you really want a marriage to be only for the sexual excitement, then it is going to be a total failure, because it is not the only thing which built the marriage. It is also one among the thing, but it is not the only thing. And that is what the author says. And jealousy is the way to drive your wife off without trying. Here the author says some men used to be doubtful of their wife when they go to work, or when they had so many female male friends. They used to doubt, oh, she's talking to that person hello so long, like that. If you get jealousy too much, jealousy is something we used to have, or we can call that jealousy as over possessiveness. We want to use the text, we don't like the word jealousy, because we are not a green eyed monsters, so we want to use the word like possessiveness, because it is little much okay, it's fine, possessive is fine, like that we think. So we used the word possessiveness, but the author says if you have over possessiveness, it is just trying driving off the spouse or wife without even trying. because the other person will feel suffocated because of your possessiveness or jealousiness. The other person will feel very hurtful. When you are getting too much possessive, you will always end up in doubting them and asking questions, where you go, when you go, what time you will come, like that. The entire thing will be total mess. So that is what the author tries to say here. He gives a very beautiful sentence, like it's ironic, the more possessive you become and the more love you demand, the less love you will receive. But the more freedom you give, less love you demand, more love you will receive. That is what the author says. If you demand less and if you give more, then you will receive more. That is what the author says. And if jealousy is present in the marriage, it will just demand more love and gives less love, and it will eventually receive less. That is what the author says. But it really touched my heart, the sentence. It's awesome that the author thinks like this. And jealousy destroy the very love it seeks to develop. It is another sentence which really went through my heart. And I think my possessiveness over my husband is good, but after reading this book I try to change these things. And I also understand that possessiveness is not good. And learn to forgive yourself for not being perfect. Some person used to tell that, oh, I'm not being perfect for my spouse. And like they started blaming themselves for every situation. They don't blame the other person, but they started blaming themselves, and they feel isolated. They will isolate themselves. And like that. But the author says you have to learn to acknowledge it, that you are not perfect, but you will try to be perfect. And there is no perfect man or woman you are looking in. There is no person exist in world, in this universe at all. That is what the author says. Because if you want to see any perfect man or woman, there is no such person at all. Everyone has some like they have their own negatives. And many of them doesn't show what their negatives to in front of others, but they do have their negatives. In medias also we see so many persons, but we see what they show, but we don't know what they doesn't show. But we should not think that they are totally perfect. They are totally perfect, we should not think like that, because every men and women have their own shortcomings. And in chapter 4, the author goes on like, no pain and no gain. It is the chapter 4 is more love secrets that man wants to know. And in that, no pain no gain, stop thinking of yourself as fragile, and you won't realize how strong you are until you stop putting up with your problems in your love relationship. You have to be strong enough to face all the problems. And in your relationships, you should not run away. That is what the author says. If you don't in a worldly life, we used to say, if you don't have put much hard work, you won't gain anything. If without pain, you won't gain anything. Likewise, in a relationship too, we have to put some investments, like our emotional investments, to gain happiness. Like that, the author says. And don't let your parents marriage control yours. So many of couples nowadays used to do this, because they don't know nothing about marriage, because they don't have any preparations, like we have seen in the first chapters. And they used to just go with their parents advice. Everything the parents has to say. For a girl, he particularly mentioned in this topic, for a girl, because girls used to talk about their uh, full things about with their mother. So when you go on discuss everything with your mother or father, they will take over control over your marriage. They will take control over your marriage, and they try to direct you, and they will try to make you to do things which is not for you at all. And the author says, you have to ask the questions, do I want a marriage just like that of my parents? And if you really ask the questions, the answer will be no. Many of them says no. If my parents marriage is a happy marriage, then we will say yes. If not, then how come we can allow them to control our marriage, and they will just turn our marriage also like their marriage. It's a unhappy one. So we should not control, because God give this marriage for us, thinking that we can take our own responsibilities, and we can lead the life, and we can take our own decisions. That is why God gives this relationship, and he builds a family, that he you are qualified to make decisions to build the family. That is what God uh, try to do this in the family setup. But if you just go on depending on others for decision, it will just destroy your marriage. That is what the author says. And how to put love first to make love last. You should not say that, in a marriage or relationship, you should not say that, you have to love me first, then only I will love you. Like, no, it's not like that, because God loved us. He doesn't expect anything from us, but he loved us. So we have to show the exact love towards our partners. We have to show that love. And um, and uh, here the author gives an example about an illness person. If a person who used to give love to others, as much as possible, they won't get illness. If in a situation, if they get illness, they will get cured. It is scientifically pure, like proved. And the author says that love is essential to our emotional, physical, mental, and social well-being. If we want to be overall performer, we have to show our love. Then only we can be a perfect well-being in that, so socials also. And he gives a poem, in that a bell is not a bell until you ring it. Likewise, love in your heart is not put there to stay. Love is not love until you give it away. It's a poem. It's written by that author. And another point is, what you believe to be so becomes so. And he says that if you want your marriage to be a happy marriage, if you think, then only what will that will happen. Because in Proverbs we know the famous words, verse, what you think you will be, like that. In Proverbs we say that the tongue has the power of life and death. So you have to speak the life. That is what God expects from us. So here the author says the same. If you want your marriage to be a happy marriage, you have to think like that. If you are determined that I should not stay with this person, then no one can help you at all. Even God can help you at all, because God has given a choice of life and death even in your hands. He is a God who gives choice to you. You have to choose it. But if you are very stubborn to choose not to work out this marriage, then it is not God's problem. He is not going to help you at all. He gives choices to us. We have to choose whether we are going to make this marriage as a happy marriage, or it's a failure one. That is what here he explains about. And no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You have to take charge of your life, or someone else will take charge of your life. If you are not ready to take charge, if you're not ready to make decisions, if you're not ready to take responsibilities in your life, some other will totally control you. That is what the author says here. And you should not allow others to make you to feel inferior without your consent. And happiness is a choice. It is more blessed to give than to receive. It is a Bible verse, and here the author says happiness is always a choice, and it is good to give happiness to others. Happy people is like a infectious disease. Wherever they go, they will make others happy too. uh, we have seen so many persons like that. If a happy person come, they always have a gang around them. They will not be alone at all. At any time, any point of time, they will not be alone. Wherever they go, there will be some sort of gang will be around them, and there will be laughter. Every person will be filled with smile. That is what happiness is all about. And happy person will always like influence others with their own happiness. And the author expect us to be the same. And feel great about yourself. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see your ugliness, or do you see your beauty? Whenever we feel we just stand in front of mirror, we used to compare other persons or some other beautiful. We quoted them as beautiful, and we think they are beautiful apart from us. And we always say that why my eyes is like that, why my nose is like that, why we always used to go to our parents and say that why you just made me like this, you have to made me like some cinema idols or like that, or some other persons we imagine like they are the beautiful persons or they are the handsome person in this world. But authors say no, you are beautiful. You should feel that. You should really feel great about yourself, and then only you can be happy about you. Because whenever I used to say that whenever in my college days, whenever stand in front of my mirror, I used to say one word. uh, it's a motivational thing for me, because it makes me to have some confidence to do anything. Like whenever I stand in front of mirror, I say you are the beautiful woman throughout this universe. No one is like you. You are just unique, like that I say. And my friends will laugh at me. Why are you saying you are like a charcoal, and you are saying you are the beautiful person, like that? And I used to say okay, like I can be a charcoal, but I will be a gold, because gold is also the like a dark charcoal, like that I would say that. So that is what the author says here. And the love you refuse to give, the love you lose. If you refuse to give the love to another person, you will receive no love at all. If you being a grumpy person, no one will love you at all, right? So that is what the author says here. And chapter 5, can a marriage survive adultery, abuse, or imprisonment? Here the author wants to explain about all the problems which he had once counseled. So he compiled everything: adultery, abusement, or imprisonment. In that everything can be saved. Everything, adulteration or abusement or imprisonment, if the spouse or some partner, he or she is in this category. If the other person wants to save that marriage, if they are ready to forgive them, if they are ready to totally forget about their past and what they have done in that marriage, and they want to live with that person, then that is possible. If not, because Bible also say that for sexual reasons you can divorce, like that is what the Moses has given for Jews. So he quoted that thing, and he gave an example, a real example of a couple uh, who come across the adulterations. The wife has being with some other person, and the husband wants to really save that marriage. So he was so stubborn that I want this wife, I want to forgive her, and I will just accept her as she is. But uh, uh, ask her to leave that person and live with me only, like that he wants to say that. So the author was so like he was wondered, is there any person who really wants to forgive this adulterate woman? uh, she lives with some other man from day to night, and night she came home to live with this person, but this person is ready to accept her, ready to forgive her, and he is ready to fully totally forget about that thing, and all. And he says at last his stubbornness won, and the wife came to him, and he forgave everything, he accepted her, and he lives a happy life. So that is what the author says in that. And chapter 6, addiction, alcoholism, and or homosexuality, can be saved. And in chapter 5th, in chapter 6 also, author wants to say that all these things can be saved because the other person wants to save the marriage. They have the stubbornness, and they have the heart to forgive, like God forgive us even though we are not good enough. We are not to say the good word good enough, we are bad enough. We are not even to the reach point of good enough. And God still forgived us. He never mentioned anything about our past, our sin. He said that I throwed your sin behind my back. Because why he says behind my back is, he has to turn around to look. When he look at us, he can't look that. That is why he said that behind the back, or deep into the sea, like that he says. Likewise, if a person is ready to like in love, if you are ready to love, you will be a person who is ready to forgive, who is ready to forget the things which hurt you by the partner. So that is what the author explains here. And chapter 7, lack of passion or poor money management, poor communication, will that be saved? Will that marriage can be saved with all these things? And in this thing, lack of passion, it can be cured. It can be when you go through the counseling sessions, or if a pastor or some other elder person from church, if they give some counseling, it can be saved. But the poor communication, it has to be like rendered by that person, that spouse, or he or she. Because poor communication is a very vital thing which breaks the marriage easily. If you are not communicate with your partner in a right way, in a continuous manner, it will easily break that marriage. Satan can easily sow a cord, and he can easily break you away in a it's a matter of minute. Like the miscommunication or misunderstandings can be easily brewed in that lack of communications, poor communications. That is what the author says. In the lack of passion, you can always go for an sit together, talk together options. If in that you can renew your passion with your spouse, like that. And don't in poor money management, don't let your marriage be destroyed by your inability to control your financial spendings. In that, the author explains about how to spend financially with some intelligence. We have to think about, but so many of us is not a poor money management in India's. Indians, we are not like poor money manage. We don't have that poor money management. We are very intelligent persons with managing the money, then managing the relationships. But he writes this book for Americans, so they are the persons who spend the money lavishly. So he wrote like that. But I'm not accepting this point, because I have seen so many Indians, and they are not in poor money management. They know well enough how to manage the money than managing the relationship. And in chapter 8, it's a love portrait. It's all about love, which has been explained in the Bible. Love is patience, and love is doesn't get anger, like that. The those things were explained in that chapter 8. And loving like Christ, you have to love the spouse as the Christ loved church. That is what he says in that. And without love you are nothing. If you don't have love, God says in Bible, if you have everything and if you don't have love, you don't have anything at all. Without love you are nothing. That is what the God says in Bible, and here the author also wants to emphasize that points. That is all about in this book, about what every man wants in a woman. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you so much. It was really a very detailed and lengthy presentation, and time literally ran out. And I think you covered the entire book. I wonder whether anyone will buy this book or not because you told everything. So with illustration, this book is really good because it covers all the aspects of the marriage and illustration with biblical points, and I think they he has even given biblical quotation. So in and all, it's really a very nice book to know. So thank you, sister, for working on for this presentation. Yes, you're right. Men and women are totally different. Men understands differently. Guys understands differently, and all the misunderstanding crops when we don't understand. And if we are understanding something, it's better that we communicate to our partner. Sometimes it does happen. We may think something, and we keep it in our hearts only, and we keep on imagining things, and the problem will just pile up. But when we try to communicate with them, we will come to know that sometimes that we may be wrong, that what we have thought of might be something different, and they will explain it to us. So it is better that communication is the basic foundation for any good relationship. So first of all, before being a good husband and wife, it is better that we be friends, a good friend, like a best friend. So when I got married, there was this youth pastor. So he gave me one counseling. So he told that so far, Jimmy, you didn't add any boyfriend, but for the first time, you're going to have a boyfriend. So he should be your only boyfriend, and he should be the only person with whom you should share all your secret, and that is would be the strength of your marriage. And another counseling I got it through elderly auntie, and what she told was, so you are entering in a marriage. So problem will come up. It's not that you will face any problem. I know that you are very understanding, and you're matured, and you are a psychological counselor. You know everything, but then make sure that each day that you do family prayer. So sometimes we might have some ill feeling with our partner. So if you're not able to say sorry to him directly, you can say it in prayers, and you can say it in such a way that you can ask God for forgiveness, and your husband will get the point, and the problem will be sorted. And that's what we are doing, and it really works. So when the prayer becomes less in a marriage relationship, Saturn starts sowing the seed, and whatever the problem crops up, it will not be a big problem. It will be silly matter. Silly matter, it will get blown out of proportion. And at the end of the day, when we thinking, oh God, why did I fight for such a small thing? We will think, and we will regret, and we will talk that, oh my God, we're really childish. So now I have kids, and my first daughter, she's 8 years old. So sometimes, even when I raise my voice, or even my husband raise my voice, she will come and stand between us and say, oh God, you people have started it. Please leave me out of this. And we really used to be so ashamed. And I think it is now some 3 to 4 years, no fight has happened in our home. And all thanks to my understanding daughters. So do, yes, children do unite husband and wife. So it was really very nice presentation, sister. God bless you. So we have a esteemed panel here, more experience. We are all small kids before them. So I would like more experienced pastors in marriage life. Also, they might be having many experience. So I will start with them. First, I will start with Dr. Raja Gerald, sir. Sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, sister, and hi to all the panelists. First of all, I appreciate the presenter for sharing a wonderful presentation that relates to the topic. It's really, according to me, all the 9 chapters focus education to both husband and wife. That's what I feel. It's a really a good education for both husband and wife together. But here, many courses you are done, all that are very much useful for today's family life. Starting from first chapter up to the ninth chapter, you are quoted different at different angle. You are quoted, and all these things are learning aspects for all of them. Not only for for the focused people now, it is the most important. And as you told, the author John Hagee, he has written many books, as I know. Okay, many books I also have at home. Many books I have John Hagee book. Also, I used to see some of the gospel in the television. Also, it is a good inspiration by him for most of the people, that to young people, young couples. So that's why we have to build ourselves according to the book what has been written. So same time, there should not be any gap between husband and wife. You said there should not be any gap between husband and wife. If there is any gap, that leads to separation. So this is happening in today's context, especially in the Christian community. Because of these gaps, many separations are happening in today's life of many Christians, young couples. It's a very much bad scene, and also very much bad in front of other faiths, that we have to make clear how we are going to see all these things in future in order to subsidize everything. Also, also this particular book, what author has been specified through the presenter, it gives real knowledge for all of us to work more on this family life, how to be in the future. There may be many matters, there may be many problems, there may be many issues also we are saying in today's life, because of so many reasons are there. We can't able to stop, or we can't able to avoid such kind of things. We should accept all the what all issues we face in the family, especially among the couples. So understanding must be there. As this author says, understanding must be there, that will develop, that will make others to think and others to follow, as how the author says. And also the presenters shared, also presenters shared, stop stop planning the blame game like that. It's a good example. It's happening today. It's today happening. It's one of the main problem I can say from my side. Because of ego problem, such kind of things are happening. But we have to wait for happiness. That's the main thing. 100% happiness, we have to make it. Then only we can at least cross the border, how we have to plan and succeed in our life. Author says, you should be try to be a perfect. That's true. So, as the presenter says, in today's life, we can't expect 100% perfection from everyone, both husband and wife also. But how far we are going to make perfect among ourselves? That is a question in today's life. We have to think, and how, in what all ways we can be a perfect. What all ways we can be perfect. There's lots of ways are there. Many ways are there to be perfect in both husband and wife. And many people rejects certain things. Maybe husband will reject wife suggestion. Similarly, on the other side, it happened. That should not be come. That should not be happen. That's most serious issues in today's life happening, not only in India, but according to the author, he specifically focused American side, but it is also related with Indians and other Asian nation also, it happening. Not only the American, but he focused according to the situation, what he learned, what he experienced from his own side. But this is existing even in other nations, Asian nations, other European nations also. Many things are happening. So life is all about to control ourselves and to be a perfect and to proceed a way, so that under the guidance of God and under the understanding between both husband and wife, we can lead a good life. That's what I understand. I mean, thank you all the panelists. Thank you, Sister Jemima.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. As usual, Raja sir, he always speaks very balancedly. Thank you, sir. It's true that sometimes we cannot avoid all issues. Some or other issue definitely crops up because the partners will be, as the sister told in the presentation, be totally different from each other because we might be coming from different places, different family atmosphere, different cultural background, and sometimes even different language background. So problem may crop up, but when we put Christ before us, and when He is the head of our family, and whatever problem we are facing, we should sit down and sort out the issues at that time only. If we decide, okay, I will talk next day, I will talk day after tomorrow. Never fight and let that fight to drag for days or a month. It is at that period only when the third person will enter and the problem will get blown out of proportion. So it's not a bad thing to fight. Sometimes life cannot be always sugary or sweet. So we have to be sweet, we have to be bitter, we have to be tangy. So when fight comes, sort the differences out so that, and after that fight, when we reconcile, and that relationship it really gets stronger. We feel that we have started everything new. So I'm sure that all people who are married, they might have experienced this thing. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your opinions. So next we have our new participant, brother Arockiadoss. So I would like brother to give his feedback, please.
Praise the Lord, and I'm very happy. Uh, really, what to say? Very excited. This topic, what every man wants in a woman. Um, Whenever I'm happy, I used to write two, three lines, right? Uh, so here, sister, I want to present you four lines, right? Dear Sister Rose, great is your reviews, shared the true values, made this session joyous. Really, I see my life through this book, right? Many times I tried to understand. I thought that I understood my wife, but here the author says it is difficult to understand your partner. But I can say at least 75% I understood my wife, but the remaining 25% still it's a miracle to understand. It goes on. So by God's grace, uh, I'll try to understand the remaining part, right? Then recognizing each other is very important in the family life. Sometimes only one is the breadwinner going for a job, other stays at home. The partner should be respected and treated equally. So that the author has mentioned. So I liked that part. And another thing, entering into the marriage life with a high expectation but less preparation. Really, I love that statement. Today's generation, they say that I'm, what to say, engaged, I'm going to have a happy life, this, that, they say. After, what to say, the before marriage, they share, they talk. As she mentioned, only the positives are shown. But only after the marriage, positives, negatives, everything is seen. There it is difficult to adjust, and the people fail to understand the reality. And they talk to their parents too much and follow the parents' guidelines, finally end up in a bad manner. So that was mentioned in this book, right? We may share our problems or happiness with our parents or very close friends, relatives. We may get their suggestions, but only we should decide. So that is there, I think, is the baseline, one of the baseline in this book. And the spiritual authority should be taken by the man. Okay, that is right. That's true. That should be led by the man. So there will be a progress. I also feel, even personally in my life. And the word about the menstruation cycle, right? During the birth, giving birth, and this really women struggle a lot. Only few people understand that and support the family. They think that it is the responsibility of his mother-in-law or sister-in-law, somebody else. But actually, it is the responsibility of the person. So it is mentioned. So I'm very happy that he emphasized that. But some counselors do not talk about this. But here, the author has mentioned. And what women wants, truly only love. They don't expect anything else. Only the true love. And the word I liked, romantic love. Spending time with them. Even today, my students asked in the class, "Sir, what is your preparation for Christmas?" I told nothing. They questioned me, why? I told, see, I'm going to stay with my family. I'm working in a private institution, getting leave very rarely. In that leave, we don't want to go outside and simply run here and there, get tensed. No. Stay with the family. Go to the church, come back, have food, have fun with them. You talk, enjoy. That lasts for a long time, and it also builds the family life. So I like that particular area. And the love secrets, really there are many secrets in the family life to understand. So step by step, when we go on many things, really the book is wonderful. And here in Hosur, I went to a church. There the pastor has a separate association, the Young Couples Association in the church. They have one fellowship. The newly married couple, for the first 5 years, they will gather every week. They have a prayer, and they give counseling. They try to discuss their problems with the seniors, with the pastor, and try to solve that. So there are churches, they give importance to this area. Really, it's a wonderful book. The presenter made me to buy the book and read it. Sure, I'll do that. Kindly share the details of the book, where it is available, all those things. And first thing, this is the first time I'm attending a book review in English. Before I presented a book, a respected brother, Jesuharan is there, right? When I presented the book in Tamil, he was there. I gave nice feedback, right? I remember that session. And when my pastor, Pastor Mark, requested me to present a book next week, next month, the topic also fixed. Really, that's a need of the hour. I hope God will guide me to understand the extract and present it neatly, right? Thank you all for your time. Thank you, sisters. God bless you all.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. So, brother is very keenly heard the presentation. So, you gave your points on most of the points. Yes, it's really true. When in a partner, one is working and the other is a homemaker, wife is a homemaker. Often the homemaker is what I could say. Often the husbands, they have this attitude. Oh, I am working so much. I go morning and I have to travel a lot, and I'm working and I come at night. What do you have to do? You have to just cook for some 1 or 2 hours. You have to take care of the kids. You have to pack the kids and make them go to school. And whole day you can take rest. So this is all the husband's attitude. But I was happy because what the COVID has done is when the COVID came and we were all in lockup. So at the time when work from home started, it was at that period only many husbands realized that how much work a woman is putting for our family. So mundane small things. It is so time consuming. They don't have time for rest, and taking care of kids, it's a huge responsibility. And when there are small babies in home, they really understand how much effort they have put. So my husband, he always used to tell me like that, I only working, but after work down, his attitude has totally changed. And now he's helping me. And in this lockdown only, I got conceived again for the second time, and he had been such a strong supporter. My both children were born in my husband's house only. So during my first delivery, there were relatives, my mother-in-law, everyone were there. But what happened during the second delivery? There was again a lockdown. No one were able to travel anywhere, so there were a lot of issues. So only one auntie came. She came just 2 days before my delivery, and it was a surgery. So at that time, the total my support system was my husband. So I thank God that the lockdown came, and at that time, he has been a really great support, and it is still continuing. My baby, second baby, is now 10 months old. Still, that support is going on. So often, God creates such situation in our life. It may seem negative to the world, but sometimes God will make it as a positive and help us. So God always தமிழ்ல வந்து ஒரு வார்த்தை சொல்லணும்னா, அவர் நல்லவர், அவர் நல்லதே செய்வார். He always does good for us. So that I could say it. And another which brother told was that you share your positive things with your parents, not negative. It's really very true. What happened when we tell each and every aspect of a negative of our partner to our parents? What will happen is they will start showing disrespect to our partner. So a time will come, we will be reconciled with our partner. God has made a man and human as one flesh. So we may say whatever we want about your partner, but when a third person says, no one will accept it and no wife will accept it. So when a mother-in-law says something about a husband, at that time only women will realize, oh no, I shouldn't have told about my problems to my mom. Now my mom is not respecting my husband. So it is really, really, we have to be very careful what to share to our parents. Try to sort whatever issues between yourselves only. Your parents, they are the third person. Don't bring them inside. So when you're at your parents' home, your first priority was to your parents. So when you are in your husband's home, your first priority should be your husband. So if we behave like that, the relationship would be really very good. And really, brother, thank you. All your point was really very nice. So next we have Chiradi Patra, brother. So we are all South Indians. So here is the North Indian. So let us see what feedback, what situation brother wants to share with us. Brother, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, sister, for giving me this opportunity. I also thank Sister Raeshmi for such a wonderful and detailed review of the book, which is a great book. Many have written on man and woman, and even the secular field. There are many books on husband and wife, and man and woman, and even marriages. But this book is, I think it's kind of different because it is more studded with biblical verses, stuffed with good quotations, and I was searching for the book on Amazon, and I think they're providing two books. I think his wife has also written that book, the counterpart. And it's very cheap also. It's not very expensive. So I have 4 points I just want to mention. As I was listening to each and every chapter, which sister very beautifully reviewed, the first point I just picked up is in the 4th chapter. I really liked what the author said, that if someone doesn't want his or her marriage to sustain, it won't. So you have to be stubborn and rigid on the point that no, this is my marriage, and she is mine or he is mine, and I should keep. I mean, I have to hold fast to what is mine. That is very important. No, and number 2 is these days, as we see, we have been slowly losing the attribute of tolerance and resilience. And personal level, it affects only, I mean, to a certain person, like individually. But when it comes to marriage, it affects the whole family. And the divorce cases has gone up, the rates have gone up even in India. It saddens me when I look around and see my young brothers and sisters. They are separating from each other, and they play the blame game and separate from each other. Christians, forget about any other beliefs. So this like the fourth chapter, fifth chapter, and sixth chapter covers all the difficult issues of marriage life, like starting from sickness, adultery, addictions, and homosexuality, and extramarital, whatever it is. There are many financial crisis. And that particular moment, if we don't have tolerance and resilience, marriage will fall. And that I just found these are all blockades which has to be thrown out with God's strength, with tolerance and resilience. The third aspect, I just wanted to share about financial crisis. I just want to give one example that we started. I was working in a mission, so we know how we are paid in missions. And so I remember when I first got married, whatever we were earning, she wasn't earning that time, and 900 rupees was it. I was talking about 2005. 900 rupees was our family budget. uh, I was an accountant in the in an organization, and I'm a finance man. So even I apply that budgeting and everything at my home, which is very important, especially for people like us. We are very generous and we easily give away. And I'm not saying don't give away, but giving is our. But it has to be planned. Okay, you give away everything, and then you will ask a loan from other people. So both are sin: not giving, holding back, and lending money. Both are sin. Bible talks against it. Okay, so we have to be very careful. If we are grooming one of our good attribute, that is giving, we should always be ready to not to lend. Okay, so we have to plan our giving as well. So I know 900 rupees how I managed the whole. I break down into days, like per day we have to spend 50 rupees. Then only we can achieve that 900 goal. It is very important. So my education, my professional background came into. I do the thing. I am not like, I earn very little. It's not fixed these days because I have left my job, and I'm just for health reason I'm writing, and whatever I get, I keep account of everything, every detail. So if I can keep accounts of whatever I receive when I'm not earning anything, okay, why can't Christian couples or any couples, why can't they do the budgeting and sit down together? And it's very interesting. It's very fun. If you do the budgeting together, you will feel loved again. Okay, I have felt that way. So you will also enjoy. And the last one, I wrote one article. Sister Jemima knows I love articles. I love to write sermons and everything. So I wrote one article on First Samuel chapter 1. It's about Hannah and Elkanah. Okay, Hannah I have written. It's a different one, but if we study about Elkanah, I find 6 beautiful points of a husband. I know it's nothing to do with the book, but I just wanted to share it so that we can remember it for our and exactly the author also speaks about all those things. He was a God-fearing man, verse 3 says. He showed love in action, verse 5 says. He was concerned and caring, verse 8a says. Verse 8b says he was open to express his emotion when he says to Hannah, don't I mean more to you than 10 sons? I become emotional. So I really like that statement. Okay. And when Hannah struggles and he says, don't I mean more to you than 10 sons? And how was he was down to earth, humble, verse 23, he says, the Bible says. And verse 23 again, he says, Bible says, he respected and valued his wife's decision. Okay. And he showed love in action. He did something, but to Hannah he gave a double portion because he loved her and the Lord had closed her womb. So that is how Elkanah was. Can we follow that beautiful example of a husband? Okay, if preachers start talking, then we will keep talking. I will stop here. Thank you so much, Sister Raeshmi. Thank you, Sister Jemima, for giving me opportunity.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for bringing out your personal experience and telling about budgeting. Budgeting is very necessary in a family because in many family, all the problem come and stand in finance only. Either there would be no finance and problem may rise up, or sometime it may happen. Both might be earning handsomely, but end of the month they might not be having any savings because they are not doing the budgeting and they will be spending like water. So this is the issues. And thank you, brother, for touching the budgeting point. And your insight was very nice about Elkanah. Yes, if in the same way. I think sister is going to present the book about women's perspective on Jan 5. So that would be also very interesting. So we are expecting, as I put it in the group, so male participants are preferred. So in that review, I will just put a statement. Yes, brother, please.
I'm
Brother,
ready to
please
participate. I'm ready to participate on that session also. Kindly book now itself.
Yeah, definitely. So I put a statement for today's episode. Male participants are preferred. If any female you want to give contradictory views, please come. But no one came forward. So if they had come, it would have been still more interesting. So brother want to come on Jan 5th. So we are going to, as we say in Tamil, Kalakirla word I would like to give. So thank you, brother Chiradi, for your insights, and may God bless you, your ministry, and your family. And I think Dr. Karthikeyan is going out of the studio again and again due to some signal issues. Sir has messaged me. So we have now Jesse Manal and Annan. Annan at the beginning of the episode only made a request that he wanted to speak at last. So I think he wanted to hear the presenters and every participant's feedback, and then he want to give his opinion with a bang. So Annan, please, your time now.
Okay, praise the Lord, everyone. Why I told no, usually whenever I attend any program here in speaking books floor, people used to call me very first, soon after the presentation. So today I made it a point that I should speak at the last because I wanted to listen from other friends like our Raja Gerald sir, Chiradi brother, and I could see the brother Arockiadoss also, and I was actually expecting Karthikeyan sir also, but I think he's in the in the studio, but could not join due to the network issue. So really, I congratulate Sister Jemima Lazar for having conducted 30 speaking books, English book session. Really, it is a marvelous job. You wholeheartedly, single-handedly done for the glory of God. Really appreciate you for the great work. Really, God was so faithful to you, and you were able to demonstrate in completing this series. Because I know we know the how much it is difficult not to conduct a online program, that too in English in Tamil Nadu. That is very, very difficult, because we understand identifying even for missionary group, we find it very difficult to get participants for conducting a successful program. But you made it a point to conduct a program as well as that too in a very successful manner. So first, congratulations to you. And really I wanted to thank Sister Raeshmi Rose Anthony. Wonderful presentation, sister. I really like it. The way actually many women will not come up to take this particular book. That's what I was thinking. But you come very boldly, and your presentation was simply superb. I really appreciate you. And you covered the entire book, as Jemima has told. Taken 45 minutes to complete the book, and really wonderful presentation. Sincere appreciation. And I was actually remembering after hearing sister's presentation as well as other participants comments. I think one day Brother R. Stanley, Blessing with Mission founder, he told, after completing 40 years of wedded life, I could understand only 40% of my wife Lillian. That's what R. Stanley told. So this is actually not only to Stanley and Nunn, this is to me also, and even other participants also. No one can actually easily understand our spouses. It applies to both men and women, because the way in which God was actually uniting, like that only. Now everyone is unique, and everyone wanted to compete each other in a marriage, and sometimes the tussle become very tough, and there will be some kind of a serious situation coming up. But the thing is, actually God is uniting such kind of a people to become a single union, as a unit, as a family. And definitely if we have that patience to understand our spouses, definitely God will make that marriage a great success. And this book by John and Diana Hagee, really wonderful. I like it, though I was thinking how a foreign pastor, author can contemplate the Indian context on the marriage, but it was actually really good. It was equally, it is addressing our present issue also. And I just wanted to tell one thing. In any couples life, any issue we have to resolve on the daily basis. I think Jemima Lazar also was sharing some time ago. Any situation, you need to finish up the business on the day before we go to bed. Then only our marriage will be make it as success. And my boss, actually my supervisor, even today we both are working in the same organization. 25 years ago, during my wedding ceremony, he was telling in the the big reception, when you get married, if there is a issue, if there is a problem, if there is a tug of war between you, or difference of opinion between you, instead of getting into fight, go close your house and go for a walk, and now talk to your spouse something other than what you are actually toiling out. This is what the wonderful advice given by my supervisor, my boss. That is actually highly, it was helpful when we come across challenges. I am speaking in front of my wife sitting next to me in the right side. So it is not, I am single-handedly speaking. I am speaking with acknowledging her presence also. So there will be issue, but now we can actually sort out if we speak properly. Our communication should be very transparent. Within the spouses, there should not be any hide and seek. There should not be anything. If something is there, then you are actually spoiling the entire drama. That's what I understand. And I really like the way Brother Chiradeep was talking about the budgeting. Even me also, a accountant, a born accountant, I was also worked in an organization. Even now I am working, but now I am not into finance, but I am in operations in a leadership position. But budgeting even today we are doing, and we need to have a single purse for a family. Raja Singh uncle, Shalom Family Enrichment Ministry in Chennai, they used to say, in a house there should not be two purses. That means you may have two bank accounts, or your husband may have one bank account, or two bank account, wife may bank account. But in a family, when you come to know, you have to have a one single cash book where you have to know what your spouse is having, the challenge or deficit or loans, and similarly you also know have to share. Then only the family will family budgeting will go right. And in the budgeting also, first priority we need to give we need to give it for God's ministry, tithing. And now we can think of beyond tithing, and we have to support poor. Then we have to do whatever the regular the rent. Maybe if we are in a rented house, we have to pay. We have to keep the testimony as a Christian. We need to pay the rent, the electricity, the non-negotiable. That and all we need to have a budget, and we need to do it. In those days, in our early days, in '98 we got married. We used to have 20 covers. In each cover, one cover it will say tithe, another cover rent, another cover groceries, another cover vegetable, another cover mutton, chicken, non-veg. And we put those days we used to get money in cover only salary. Now only bank transfer, online transfer, GPay, everything. Those days now we used to come and collect and sit at the feet of the Lord and praise God for that salary. And we used to classify the amounts and put it in the separate covers. And really, even today we could have that surplus in our family. Why? Because that budgeting. So that we need to have it at any family, especially Christian family. And one more thing, I will be talking more, but I don't want to make it more. But I have to tell one thing. I think Sister Raeshmi was talking about, I think in one place, the author was talking about having laughter in your family. I think they were talking about in family. Actually, we should not be always serious. The problem if you become a moody person, or if your children or if your spouse when they become frightened to talk to you, then actually your marriage is or your family is going to collapse. We should be very jovial. We will be jovial at our the town or city or our offices to impress other people. But at home, many times, especially men, they try to show little tight face. But actually, that should not be. Then these are all the lessons I learned in my life, and that is very, very important. Our absence should felt in the family. Then only our life will be a success. That's what. These are all the points when I was listening to Sister Raeshmi and the presentation. Really, it was a wonderful time of discussion and deliberation with all of our friends. Thank you, one and all. It was taking very much a long time, but it matters actually. Really, it is going to be a fruitful and successful program. God bless you, everyone. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you so much. Chiradi Patra sir, you also told a lot of counseling about how budgeting should be done, and I like the thing which you told. There will be 20 covers, so money would be coming physically in our hand, and we would be giving thanks to God, and then only spending will start. But now what is happening is money comes in account immediately. Everyone might have bought a house immediately. Home loan person, bank wallahs, they will remove the money. So see how the change is happening in our world, and even Christian families are getting affected. And indirectly we are being dragged into that. So when you told this thing, I really felt guilty. Yes, it shouldn't be like that. Previously, when salary used to come, each and every believers, as Anand told, first they will give to God, offerings, poor people, last only for our personal expenditure. But now it is becoming the reverse. First, we do whatever things we need for home and all, and at last, if money is there, then they will give money. So our attitude has changed, and we are giving less to God. That is why blessings are also coming less. So I remember my husband used to say that in 2005 was the first job in which he sat. So at that time, his first salary was 2000 rupees. So what he did was he gave his entire salary as a tithe, not a part. He gave the entire salary. So after 1 year, so God doubled it. So what he does whenever till now he's doing like that only. Whenever he gets any increment or yeah, a Diwali bonus, that extra thing he will not spend for the family. He will give the entire amount to God. And now we are in ministry. We have kept his salary separately and church offering separately. So whatever church offerings we receive, we don't even take a single paisa for it. We give it back to God, and from our salary also we do it. So when we do that, that blessing will definitely will come to a family and to a generation. So this is how a Christian family should operate. So we learned a lot of things about family. How a good family should be, how a husband should be, and how a wife should be. So we came to know about both the aspects. So now I'm interested. So in this book only he has covered all the aspects of marriage. So let us see what Diana Hagee, what she has written viewpoint. So I felt that everything is over, but still there might be many points. So that we will come to know on Jan 5. Today our program got extended, but yet it is a very important institution in our life. Marriage is the institution which was installed by God, and we really wish that all our people who are around us, not only our family or not only our relatives and friends, all those who are around us, let they lead a good family, have a good relationship with their partners, bring righteous children for God, and that is the blessing of God for each and every human being on earth. So let us be as a good example in our family life. Thank you, sister. Thank you for bringing this book to us, and thank you for the nice presentation. And I know that Sister Raeshmi could do such a good justification to this presentation, because personally she had gone through very much experiences in life, and that is the reason her experience plus her need of the hour has made her to bring this book today to us. So we thank sister for your presentation, and we thank all our panelists for taking, you're all in career people, you've taken your busy schedule and time to come to this presentation, give your feedback, continue to support Speaking Books, and maybe have still many more episodes, and not only we also learn, so that our viewers can also learn and grow up in Lord. Thank you all. Have a nice day. God bless you all. Good night. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.